Welcome. I am Michelle, your majestic. I'm your psychic empath. And today is early in the morning for me, I can see. So I've been getting these downloads from the Higher Galactic Council lately. And I just wanted to come on and start talking about them because I find them rather quite interesting. And so the one on Christmas Day I got, one day everyone will know that Christmas comes once a month. And what they were talking about is that when our when we're connected to our source and the cosm goes down into the sacred veil and then comes back up on the sign of our month that we were born in, that is a once a month thing. And how you know this is truly working is that when you're dreaming and you're having those visions of connection, then one day everyone will know that New Year's comes every day. For every single morning that we wake up, is what I'm getting, is a new day. We get to start anew every single day. It's not once a year, it's not on our birthday, but it's every single day that we get to have a new day. And then one day, everyone will know that Valentine's is an everyday act, not a once a year. And what this year was really telling me is that we need to start treating people the way we want to be treated and with love and kindness and acceptance every single day. And we need to start showing people that we actually care for them and love them on a daily basis, not just one time a year. Love has to be an action to go along with the words that we're hearing and not just a word. One day, everyone will know that age is just a number and not a measure on what you're capable of doing. And what I was getting from this right here was that every single day we all have our different paths and our different guidelines that we're working through. And it's up to us to know when we're ready for that next step, not someone else. We know more than anything else about ourselves than anyone could ever tell us from the moment we take our first breath here on this earth. And it's really interesting how we now have these path lines for children and adults to milestones, we should say, that tell them that, hey, you're on the right track, when in reality for themselves, they may be completely on the opposite wrong track. And it's important for us as adults to get them back into their path. Everyone is down here with different gifts, with different skill levels that are obtained at different times. And as parents, if we don't learn to see those and honor those, if we just put them on that path of life and then indoctrination of the school system and the whatever else we want to call it, then we are truly dishonoring our own offsprings. One day, everyone will give thanks daily and not just once a year. And what this was really telling me was that when we have Thanksgiving here in America, in the US, and we really, again, it needs to be a daily action and not just a once a year reminder like, oh, we need to give thanks. There are so many things and so many shifts that are happening right now in this universe that it's been very interesting to see how things are aligning and moving and shifting. And we all have these gifts. We all know where we fit in, but some of us are still afraid. And yet, we need to stop being afraid of who we're supposed to be or who we're meant to be in this world and start bringing out. It is who we're meant, who we are, because that's why you're here in this time and place in this world. And I get it. It's really difficult. It's really different. Hello. Thank you for welcome to the show. If you have any questions, just go ahead and ask, type them in. I will be happy to answer them as a psychic empath on things that are going on in the world. So it was really interesting that on Christmas morning I was meditating and I got this vision and I created the vision in the painting. And then I went online and realized that that was the explosion that happened in Tennessee that day. So what do I need to read somebody? I just need a question if you have a question and a yes that I can tap into your energy. So as an empath, I connect to emotions and the heart space of people. So basically, if you're going to type in a question, I know I have your permission. And so today has been, this time of year right now has been a really interesting one because yes, I can tap into your energy. You're not sure of the question, or you're not sure you want to write it out? If you Yes, if you write out your question or ask me, I have your permission. Oh, you're not sure what to ask. Okay. Well, we can just continue on, and when you think of something, go ahead and ask. It's all great. So there's lots of things right now going on into the universe. It was interesting that just before Christmas too, I got the hit on the Adam and Eve story that was downloaded by the Higher Galactic Council. And it was a really interesting story because, according to the Bible, we're all told that, Eve convinced Adam to take the bite of the apple, and that's when it all happened. There was definitely some malice going on when it happened. There was definitely some jealousy going on when it happened. But it was also before then, our brains were, instead of being split in two, with the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, they were as one. And so we're walking around manifesting everything we thought about without thinking about it because we knew it was just an innate ability that we needed to have. Kind of like the other animals and mammals here on Earth, where they just kind of go about their day doing their daily routines without thought. It's kind of how we were until that day that the malice, the negative energy, entered into Adam and was replaced, and the two brains separated. And so, what I'm getting also from the Higher Galactic Council is that our goal in this lifetime, in this universe, is to go ahead and reconnect those two brains back together. And it's not about pushing out ego for the subconscious mind, which is our heart space. It's about getting them two to work together. And it is when they're able to work together that life flows, that energy flows, that we know exactly where we need to be. And we're no longer in that malice, negative heart space that we have found ourselves in more and more, I think 2020. It's really became obvious, I should say, in 2020, but we found ourselves there throughout lifetime more and more and more. We've had some major incidents in the universe where shifts have been made. And just this last week on the 21st, with the conjunction there was another shift that happened. And that shift is going to make it, yes, the shifts have been very intense. And that's the shifts that we need, because at this point in juncture, there has been more of us awake during this shift than any other shift. And so it's going to be a lot more, a lot different, and it's going to look a lot, but a lot of times too, like everything else, is, oh, I love the name of your whole energy shift. I love that. As we shift and move through things, it is going to, sometimes chaos comes in order to bring back that peace for people to see what it is that we need to see. So some of the last times that this has happened is after the plague. The Renaissance period was a time of after a conjunction happened. And so we are heading into another conjunction that is going to be amazing, but we all have to play our part. And playing our part doesn't always mean that we sit back and will it to happen, because we are also creative beings. If we just sit back and will it to happen, it may not happen for us. And if it does, then there's other people out there doing the footwork, which is also great as long as you're promoting that energy around them to help them on their path as you're willing it forward. So there's always got to be some kind of an action that we're taking in order for these shifts to fully happen. And this last time, the shift has been really intense, and I love it because I love intense energy as an empath. It makes me feel at home. Let's see here. What else am I getting downloaded right now? Oh, so they're letting me know that we all need to be ourselves, take our action, find our path. There's so many souls out there right now that are still lost in this paradigm shift between the two minds of the ego and the subconscious. And the ones that are truly lost are the ones who have either gone too far into the conscious mind with the ego, or they've gone too far into the subconscious mind and they've totally tried to block out the ego completely. And so we need to figure out a way to get those back to merging, to be complete and whole again. That is our goal. And opening up the heart space is one of the biggest things we can do for this goal. Awesome. Libras do crave balance. I'm a Leo, so I don't know if I've ever had balance in my life. No, one of my daughter was born on the fall equinox. So I get that energy. Yes, we are very fiery. But yet I just heard too that there's actually a 13th sign, which does not surprise me because the 13th number has been hijacked long time ago as a dark negative thing, which in reality it's not. Numerology, it's a 4, so it's well balanced. And we have the 5th sign, the 13th sign is actually between Scorpio and the stag. And it really throws off the whole entire timeline. But yet, once you go back and look at it, there's 13 full moons. So why wouldn't there be 13 signs? If we did equal that out for months, we would have 28 days in each month, which would be equal to the number of years, plus it'd still be 1 day extra or a fourth day extra. So 1 day, every 4 years, we'd still have that leap year. But it makes a lot more sense to have that 13th sign. Hello, how are you? Thank you for joining. And it is just amazing on the changes it would make to everyone's astrological sign with that 13th sign being put in. I found that was, hey, how are you? Are you an empath also? Empaths have really interesting energy because we are, what's the word on Leos today? It's intense. So I like to use the word, that a good word to describe any empath is intense. We love intensely, we hate intensely, we get frustrated intensely, we get anger intensely. So no matter what emotion it is, there's always an intense involved. See, she gets it. And the hardest thing is to be okay with the fact that you're intense. Yes, you may call. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. About yourself?
I am doing well this morning. So, what do people call you on here?
They call me Fox or
Hey,
Foxy.
Fox,
Yeah,
how are
yeah.
you?
I'm doing good. About yourself?
I am good. So, do you
Nice.
have any questions or?
Hey, yeah, yeah, I mean, shoot, let's dive right in. You our sidekick empath. Trying to channel the higher energy, vibrate at
Yes.
that frequency. So, what's on the what could you help guide me with today on my path? Would you say? What kind of things are you feeling going on right now that you could help with?
So, what's going on with your third chakra?
Third chakra. My throat chakra?
Nope, your sacral.
No,
Or not
my
your sacral, but your
sacral
solar plex.
solar plex. Okay, that's right. Because
It's
this
also
goes
your
crown,
self-esteem
throat,
chakra.
and then okay, yeah, that's right. My self-esteem chakra.
Yep. Are you fully
Hmm.
honoring who you are?
Fully honoring who I am. Um, honestly, that's something I've been working on lately. Is trying to do that and like better myself for who I am.
Okay. So the biggest thing that as an empath that I have learned to know and is to set boundaries. Because empaths, we can take on other people's energies really, really quickly. And it's hard sometimes to figure out what is ours and what is not ours. And so as I learn what I like, what I don't like, those are the things that I start to set my boundaries around. So when other
Mm.
things come up, I can go, oh, that's not me. I don't want that.
You're saying to set boundaries, like just in general, also with your like, would you say with your emotions like that? Because I'm reading in the
With
comments
your
as well.
emotions, that way there with the things that you like and don't like in your world, and start writing down what you're willing to accept in your world. Because as
Hmm.
an empath, it's really easy for us to take on other people's energies. And then we
So,
get lost in the process.
so you're saying I should start to focus on what I'm willing to accept from the world and others.
Yes.
That's so funny that you say that because I recently just spoke to my mother and some other people about this. That I'm no longer accepting anything but the highest quality from myself and others. Like that's something that I recently just came in tune with because
Cool.
I've settled for less throughout my life. I definitely have. And that's
Yes.
recently what I've been working on.
And I think a lot of empaths have been there, because I know I have too. And a lot of it is that we get so wrapped up into like our childhood and what's going on there and what we think they want us to be,
Mm.
instead of who we really are. Because a
Yes,
lot of
ma'am.
people have a hard time with intense emotions. They don't know how to handle it and deal with it. But right now, with everything that's going on around the world that is really intense, it is actually up to us to help teach them how to control those tense emotions that they're feeling, because we have dealt with it from day one. So nobody knows more about intense emotions than an empath. And so it is time for us to step up and go, hey, we need to help you with this. And along with that is setting those boundaries, so that way you know where you fit into this equation. And then do you have your things that you have when you go home and you separate from the world to detach?
Yes, I do. I actually do. Hold on one second. I'm actually getting a phone call. Give me 1 second. I'll be right
Okay.
back.
All right. Yes, empaths who grew up through traumatic childhood. I had a very traumatic childhood. I tell people that I grew up with the devil, and that's why he's afraid of me now. So advice for that is to, one, again, go back, figure out who you are, what you're willing to accept. And then as an empath, have you played with the modality called the Akashic Records at all?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. So like I'm fully aware that I've traveled there and seen some things. However, like because of the trauma from the childhood and the insecurity and doubt of growing up with the I guess claircognizance and not knowing what it was because you're still clouded with the shit. Sorry for the I'm
Oh, you're totally good. My ears are not virgins.
Okay, there we go. We're good. But so just the last year and a half, I've been confident enough to step into that power. I've had people tell me I'm empathic, I'm a healer, and all these things all my life. I've felt that I was a healer all my life. Since I was like 2, I'd pull myself up to rub people's backs. Like I've tried to do that. I went to school for massage, learned Reiki, and that's when like the whole I mean, I've read tons of spirituality and religious type of things, but when I went to school for massage and learned Reiki is when I really learned about energy and how everything is energy, not just, oh, that's energy that starts that car or whatever, you know? And so since then, I'm now 39, I've been on my journey and searched and opened my things. But I just have trouble sometimes. Discernment is my main thing, is the discernment.
Yes. Discernment is a really hard thing, especially when we're first new, on recognizing that you have all these different energy modalities. So, what I tell people and what I do myself is that when something new comes in, I do the research.
I can't help but to research. I am that seeker constantly. I'm looking
Then
things
I
up.
go in and I meditate on it.
Yeah.
And I ask my guides, is this something that is for me? And if they tell me no, I drop it.
Right.
And usually in about a month or two, other things start popping up to why that answer was no in this world.
Right.
To kind of reinforce going, oh, that's why that's not for me. And so, and it's that trust build we have to build with our guides again as empaths and healers.
I
That
think
is
I have a
really
huge issue with the
important.
trust thing. simply because like I guess I didn't have that security or that trust that things were always in upheaval growing up. So then that's what I got, I guess, used to. And I am breaking that chain. And I know that like I can go in and get the answer. However, I question myself. I don't trust the answers I get because I'm like, oh no, that's just from me and my ego, instead of fully like accepting that that is either the guides or higher selves or whatever communicating.
Right. I am putting on here my email address.
Okay.
Whenever that comes up, just go ahead and email me.
Okay.
I usually get back within like 24 hours. But that way there you can have some reassurance.
Right.
Because I know when
I
I was
have
on this path,
friends,
I had a lot of...
He's so scattered. Not even that he's scattered, but he's going through his own crap. He's psychic, and he's one of the people that had like, dude, you are a clear channel. You need to stop denying your power or your gifts. And but you know, we've grown apart a little bit, and he's got his own crap. And so there's certain people you can go to for advice and stuff.
Right. No, I totally get that. And my guides only allow me to go to a few certain people for like when I have questions.
Yeah.
And that's part of that discernment that I've realized. Because right now there's so much, as you know, right now in the universe, we have the war of the light and dark going on.
Definitely.
We have the political war going on.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the human rights war going on.
Definitely. So I'm
and-
like, here on the Podbean, I've been feeding some information to a lot of people, and they're like, oh my gosh. And same thing. Like, I'm still new at this, but I'm aware. I get the feeling you've probably been in this and stuck in it for a lot longer than I have. Not even stuck in it, but like living it instead of like kind of hiding it and exploring through it, you know?
Right. I knew the school system was not healthy when I was 5 years old.
So I went to church at like 4 or 5 and had that gut feeling like this is not right. Like, I don't know why, but this does not feel right, that I'm going to be damned to hell for not remembering half of this shit.
Right.
And I'm this young. And so like, I remember laying on the sidewalk, looking at the roly-polies and the ants crawl into the grass, the forest of grass. And I'm like, I wonder if they think I'm God. At 5 and 4 years old. So like, I remember these things now, and I'm like, yeah, that's not a normal child.
No, but yet also empathic child.
Yes.
A lot of the empath kids that I know that are adults have had memories early on. A lot of us came into this world born awake.
Yeah.
And we're here for this moment in time.
And we signed up for this shit.
We did. We totally signed up. And a lot of us are volunteers. So a lot of us are first time in this world.
Right. And I don't know. I wonder. I don't know if it's my first time or if it's one of my first times. I'm not sure. But I've been told I closed off my third eye. I've closed off a lot of things, I guess from the trauma. I don't know.
So I know during this last conjunction, the third eye, I know my third eye was really vibrating.
Yes. My crown's been like for the past year, on and off, not constantly, but a lot. My crown will start vibrating like crazy, and I just allow it. And I've been told it's my my base and my third eye that I block. But okay. So he clears it. He'll do the clearing, my friend. He's cleared it, and he's like, once we go through the process, as soon as I get my intention to speak upon that chakra, it's clear, and it's like a burst of energy so strong I've never felt it like this. And I'm like, well, okay, you're just flattering me, but then, you know, I can't take a compliment either. So it's like, yeah.
So taking a compliment comes from like maybe a traumatic event in your childhood. So we'll have to look at what the emotion is behind that. And not necessarily anything else. It's usually an emotion. from the
Right.
childhood or an event that happened that you just said, nope, like I would rather not have a compliment. And it could be the fact that you seem very independent as a person.
Right.
And
I had to. I never lived in one place longer than 2 years until high school. Plus, I witnessed mom get beat up by stepdad for 9 years, and then like again had some crazy stepdads. Not that they were violent or crazy with me, but I mean, then you have that crazy little, just different bullshit that I guess our souls need to experience on this journey.
yes and no. Because if we look at it this way, Earth is where the dark comes to play too.
Right.
When we're on the other side and we see only, because no matter where we're at in life, we see who we are.
Right.
When we're on the other side and we're just in that pure love and we're pure love energy, when we're looking down, all we see is the pure love.
Right.
And so we don't realize the dark and the chaos that happens until we come down.
Yeah.
And our parents, as soul beings, have been programmed and forgotten that it is their job to teach us how to withstand the dark and to move through it with ease and grace instead of having that slap in the face all the time.
Right. Trying to be that alchemist.
Right. And so it is now, as adults, up to us to fix this. I mean, I've been told that I know there's a new like 2030 agenda out there for the dark, but there's also a new 2030 agenda out there for the light.
Right. It's consistently evolving, and
yes.
as energies collide.
And so what I've been like downloaded and told that once we get through the next year or two, I mean, they're telling me that all this stuff may not be done for another year or two.
Right. And that's what I see and feel too. I mean, everybody's like, oh, yay, 2021, a new. I'm like, it's just a continuance. Things are not like a close of the book and a whole new book. It's just a continuing chapter.
Yeah, I'm getting like January and February. It's like the eye of the storm.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe we're in the eye of the storm now.
I feel like March is going to be something, I don't know, again, but there's something. You know what's odd? So, and it's not odd for us, but last year, this time, me and my coworker, and we connected, and this new job, well, it's not new, it's 2 years old now, but this job allowed me to come back to a lot of things. But we were having conversations about this thing, like it's not, something major is going to happen, there's going to be a major shift, and then come March, and everything happened all crazily like it did with the COVID and everything. And just, it's funny how, you know, I've known these things, and I just don't speak on them to certain people.
Right. I mean, I've known them too. There's some people that I would speak on them with. And then there's sometimes when I'm in areas where I get the message, nope, this is not the place.
They're going to think you're crazy. So
right. And it's not the time. And then as soon as COVID started happening, that is actually when Saint Germain was like, okay, I'm going to download and you're going to type. He goes, and then you're just going to hit send.
Yeah. So look, when I was going through my teens and not fully aware of like that I was able, I mean, we all are, it's just the clouded bullshit, right? That we let hold over us or whatever. But as I'm going through high school and teens, like I was a writer, I'm a poet. I got hundreds of different poems, and a lot of it, and all the time, I can't think about what I write. It's just flows through me. Again, as I got older and realized, okay, that was me channeling a certain energy, maybe not completely, but yeah. It's just funny how things, as you take a look back and you're like, oh, wow, okay, it all makes sense now.
Right. I mean, I would give my friends advice all the way through high school.
Yeah.
And they would take it, and their lives turned out great. And I would like, why aren't I taking my own advice? My gosh, that sounds great.
Like, what the hell? I know these things. I knew I should have did that, and I did the opposite. What the hell? Why did I do that? Just
And a
because,
lot of it is because as empaths, this is what I've realized too, is that when we're with somebody new or whatever, we start to like attain to their energy, it is really easy for us to just kind of mold and become who they are
right.
without realizing that we're doing it until it's almost too late.
That is so that's funny you say that, because I got in a long distance situation for 4.5, almost 5 years, and it's just ending recently. And so like we had a connection. Seriously, his mom's birthday is my grandma, my mom's birthday is his dad. Like we had a lot of just different weird energy connections it was a karmic connection, I think now. I thought it was a twin flame situation. As I look back, I had those intuitions. I had those downloads, certain things that he would say or do, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, that's not right. But no, this is so long, all this time we put in and everything. And then as I'm opening up, and so I just recently started doing card readings, doing intuitive card readings. I know I've been told I don't need that tool. It's just you, whatever. That's my confidence right there. It helps build my confidence. As I started doing that and doing readings, he got insecure and like accusatory. And so I knew, but then I'm holding on, because that ego part of me is like, oh, all this time and effort. And so now things are shifting, and it's funny how you become aware of things more as you take a step out of the situation. And I knew these things, but as you're so close to the situation, you don't realize, I guess.
Right. So sometimes I'll use cards when I go into the Akashic Records for people.
Mm-hmm.
And I have like 5 different decks that I use together. And a lot of that is just because it's the show for them.
Right.
Because they like to see what you're talking about.
Right.
And so that's how I look at it. And I tell them that straight up. I'm like, I don't need these cards. These cards are so you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And
yeah, when I connect, I'm like, this is just a tool. Nobody needs these tools. It's just feels good for that person at that time. Certain people use
right.
cards, certain people use crystals, whatever it may be.
And it's interesting because I've actually met some people who need the cards. So intuitive gifts can be taught.
Yeah.
And the discernment needs to come, like we were talking about earlier, is how do you know if somebody's real or if they're relying too much on their tools, their physical
Right.
tools, and not their mental tools.
Right.
I think that's really where the discernment needs to come in. And that's what I'm getting for you is like that's where the discernment is. Realizing
So
who's
I've
real.
been channeling. Go ahead.
Who have you been channeling?
I don't know who. The higher selves, my guides. I don't
Okay.
know. I just channel that energy. When I do the reading, I connect. I ask them to open their energy so that I can connect. And it's all for, the betterment of, I have my little saying and stuff. And so I just connect and just get the information downloads. And it's like, it's not even a block of thought or whatever. I've heard and read how different people channel. It's just there. It's that information that it has to flow, and I speak on it when I hear it or feel it. And it's not that I hear it, but it's just that knowing again that this information that just is there.
Yes.
It's hard for me to explain, and people are like, some people understand, a lot of people don't. Some people are like, oh, so you see pictures? No, I don't see pictures, but kind of, but not. It's hard to explain.
Right. Because channeling comes more from the crown.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just feeding you the information. But also in order to channel, you have to know how to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to know how to relax that mind and to allow things to flow. And I think for me, one of the easy things I had with that in there was because I stuttered a lot as a child, so my frontal lobe did not fully develop until later.
Yeah.
And so I was always relying on things coming through to help me get through school and whatever else. And so the channeling just came really easy for me when it started happening on the intense level that it has been this year.
Yeah, those tingles, that vibration. I don't know. And so as I look back and like I've had that information in that channel, yet just didn't I wasn't aware or connected with it or just oblivious of how it worked, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's always been there.
Because
It's
if we
just,
don't have somebody growing up that's going to help walk us through this,
right.
it's just like this trial and error thing as we go through life. And we're especially as empaths, we're really confused because we feel everyone's emotions. We're attached to it,
Hmm.
but yet it doesn't always feel right.
So then, and my dad is like schizophrenic and bipolar, so I wasn't raised around him. And then my mom, she was 15 when she had me. She was young, she didn't know. But she would be like, "Oh, don't act like your dad." And then, okay, now I have that complex. I know not everybody has this intuition or this knowledge or, just feels certain things. And now I'm crazy. I feel like I'm crazy. Okay, just maybe that's why I shut it off. I don't
That could
know.
be because it was embedded in you as a younger child that was like not okay.
Right.
I
So
asked.
she's psychic in a way, but my dad's schizophrenic and bipolar. He was like seriously put in places. So
So did
that
your dad
part
ever
of
do
it,
drugs?
he did too. Yeah. So they did
Okay.
shock therapy to him when he was a teen. And then as he was in his 20s, he was good on and off, but then he started doing drugs here and there. And that's when my mom met him at 15 and he thought she was, yeah, it was intense.
Right. So I have a couple cousins who have gifts like me. They've both been diagnosed with drug-induced psychosomatic schizophrenic.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked that question because the first time I tried drugs to kind of like cover up my childhood and to forget about it,
Mm-hmm.
my guides kicked in and said, no, this is not your path.
Right. That's drinking for me because I'm native. I'm part native as well. And I feel like that's another connection. My dad, I feel like he was not crazy, but he was more connected. And my family was trying to hide that side of the native of us or whatever and took him to doctors. He got shock therapy, whatever.
Right. Because that's the white person thing to do, right?
Yes, and I asked Nana, what tribe are we? Oh, honey, we're American. So right there, that told me they were trying to hide things, right? I feel
Right.
like it is passed down certain thing. Maybe we were part of the medicine men or whatever it may have been back in the days in the ancestors. So I know I'm healing generational shit on both mom and dad's side. My grandma on my mom's side was like, oh, your grandpa, people would come from all over just to see him before they would go to the doctor, because then if they seen him, 90% of the people would not need to go to the doctor. So as I'm getting this tidbits of information as I'm older now, the puzzle is slowly starting to form that picture of the makeup that what this mission is here, I guess. I don't know.
So a lot of the mission that I've been told that we're on is also re-educating the human being that there's a reason why our bodies come from the earth. And that's
Amen.
because the earth has everything our bodies need.
Yes.
And that here on earth is where the light and the dark both comes to play. So you're going to have dark modalities and the light modalities. And it's up to us with discernment to know what is of the light and what is of the dark.
Right.
So when I was talking about the two brains merging, one of the ways people can get your two minds to merge is actually smoking pot.
So as I'm smoking right now.
It allows the two minds to merge. But what they also don't tell you is that it closes off your heart chakra.
So my heart chakra is always open. Since I was a child, favorite color was green. Since I could speak. I wanted anything but green all the way up until like I cannot watch or see or hear a lot of things without like completely feeling what that person's feeling. That's part of the empath and the heart. I don't know. The chakra, I'm not sure. I don't know.
So, as an empath, you're always going to feel everyone else's emotions. But the part that the pot closes off is your ability to love.
I love too much or too quickly. That's my
Okay, that's cool. So therefore, you're probably not smoking too much.
Oh, girl. I just think so I do. I smoke all the time.
Do you?
However, like I think part of the trauma from the childhood, and not that mom didn't give me love. However, it was a different kind of 15-year-old love growing up. We're more sisters now than mom and daughter, and I've always had that love. However, I don't know. I have too much to give, or I don't get the love I give in return. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does make sense.
And so where that disconnect is like, is that going to be possible, or should I focus that energy somewhere else?
So now I have a question for you. Why aren't you giving yourself that love?
I do as I have time.
Okay.
And that's where I try to find that balance. And I've been working more on exercising my abilities and doing what makes me happy. I need to work on more time with meditation. I do have my morning rituals, and at least 3 times a week I will meditate at least 4 to 10 minutes, depending on, the energy going on or whatever. But I definitely need to get more of a set ritual with the meditation in order to assist my evolution, I guess.
Yes, because people will only treat you 1 or 2 steps better than you treat yourself.
Right.
And so like with my daughter,
my love situation, what is that? Because we circled to this topic for a reason. And
your love situation. Well, they're telling me that you need to start loving yourself better.
Okay.
And that you need to come to grips with, and I'm like, I had to do this too, is that, we're all taught like we have this twin flame.
Right.
Your twin flame is actually the other side of your duality brain.
Right.
So we have the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, and it's when they merge together for us to become that creation of being.
That's what it's been trying to do for this last year, and I think that's why we fell off from that. We fell off from that situation with the ex, the 5-year situation.
Yes. So this right here this year has been shaking everyone up. Right. To get them to realize, are they in ego? Are they in subconscious mind? And then how can we merge the two together?
Right.
And it's going to take a little bit to merge the two together for a lot of people, because they're so stuck on one modality or the other. Because when you're stuck on subconscious mind, you're really not in creation mode.
Right.
When you're stuck in ego, you know how to create, but you're not treating people and yourself the way you need to be treated.
And it's that balance, damn Libra.
Right. And so it's bringing those two modalities together to create that balance and that perfect love for ourselves. What are your top 3 like integrity qualities that have to be in everything that you do?
Love.
Okay.
Connection. And I don't know. I have to I always put love in everything I do. And I have to be like connected to it in a way, like with the heart or whatever. It has to have some sort of meaning
Okay. So mine are, it has to be truth. So it has to
Yes.
speak my truth.
Definitely.
It has to be purposeful. So therefore, with those two there, so I don't do Western medicine. Really never have. My kids were delivered by midwives back in the 90s. This is how long I've been on this journey. And so to be on purpose, like for my health, it needs to be like organic vitamins coming from the earth, essential oils that are coming from the earth. So whatever, so that's part of that. You know, if some other company goes, oh, let's have this, and it's like all chemical stuff, even though it's vitamins, it's a no.
Right.
So it has to have my purpose, my truth, and then it has to speak, it has to align with my path.
Right.
So my path is a truth seeker. I am here to help wake people up and align them to who they are. Through the Akashic records and helping them change and move their world to who they are always supposed to be, who they were meant to be. And so if it doesn't line up with any of those three qualities, I automatically say no.
So I'm getting right now, I need like a mission statement in a sense,
That would be cool.
you know, for like, I am here to, my goal and what I do is to help empower people to step into their truth in order to shed those limited beliefs about themselves, because that's part of the healing path that I'm on. And healers do not heal other people, they heal themselves and allow others to see that it is possible to heal yourself.
Right. And it allows others to see, and also healers, we help open up the other channels for them.
Right.
And then we're there to support them through the opening of the channel. Because a lot of times when they don't have that support, what happens is that they stop.
Right. You need,
because they don't realize, oh, this is hard. This is, this can go this way or this way. And so by us opening up those channels,
and this is shadow work.
oh, I love shadow work.
I do too. And I, because I was so in that trauma as I grew up, it's not as uncomfortable as it is for some of the light workers that I've met.
Right. I'm totally comfortable with it.
When you're not sure, before I knew what shadow work was, I think it was more intimidating. And now it's like, okay, let's work through this shit.
Right. And that, I think that's the other channels. Like some people think of shadow work as this dark, dynamic being.
Right. Evil.
Yes. Yeah. Instead of realizing, oh, this person, I'm seeing them as selfish because of this reason. And you kind of look at yourself, go, okay, where am I being selfish?
Right.
And you bring it back on yourself.
Truly in what you see outside of yourself is something that is within you. So that's where you need to do work.
Right.
And that's what I've learned. And it's like, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Because my daughter knows that I personally do not wear a mask.
Right.
Because of my trauma from my childhood.
Right.
But yet, because of her autoimmune disease that she has as a child, she thinks I'm being selfish for not wearing a mask around her.
My son is diabetic, type 1, and so we have that same thing. I will wear it just because he doesn't go out. However, it's that same thing, is this really, it's that discernment as well. Like, okay, am I going to let you out and about because you have this thing? Probably not. I'll let you go some places, but not, it's all about that. Yeah.
Right. I got the hit from the very beginning that COVID is something that we're all not going to be able to protect ourselves from.
It's part of this evolution and this shift. It's like,
It is. It's part
Dog
of,
has fleas. She's gonna take it for so long before she shakes it off and gets rid of some of it, and that's what Mama Earth's doing. We've
she's
doing
shaking
too
up.
much to her. She's shaking it off.
She is. She's tired of being held down by the chemicals in the air too.
Right. We're supposed to co-create with each other, the energy of the earth, all this, and we've disconnected from that.
We truly have. And that's been the plan of,
I think you went mute, or you're getting a call. I think I don't know.
and so that's been
You
a
went mute
thing
for
that,
a minute. So
people need to realize that we all are on our own individual path.
You went mute for a good minute.
Okay, I was wondering because you kind of popped in and out.
Yeah, it went completely mute, so I didn't hear a lot of that. So we were talking about the shift in the beginning.
So that's interesting because I was talking about like some of the dark energies that are here.
I think that's funny, and it's yeah, you already know why it happened.
Yep, I already know why it happened.
So we're connecting, and they're like, "Oh shit, these people are too powerful together."
Yep, sometimes that happens.
I love it. But yeah, so it's here and it's trying to take over, and we are all in this fight, and I try to make sure that people are aware of how powerful they are. So that's my thing, and I've started this since COVID, being outward with it, right? And putting information out there and doing cards. So then I started Holy Shift, and Holy Shift last year I was just listening and reading and getting downloads, and I was like, holy shit, it's intense. Whole energy shit. Holy shift. Okay, cool. So that was just in my head and then I didn't know what it was going to be until people are like, "Oh, you have a deck of cards? Can you read for me?" I'm like, "I don't read for people." They're like, "No, but you can do it. If you can read for yourself, you can read for me." And so now I have 15 decks, and people have gifted them and paid me for readings, and I'm on this business venture thing doing this, but I know it's more than just the cards, and I know it's more than just the energy healing. It's going to evolve, and not exactly. It is a mind, body, spirit thing, and yeah. So we have all this dark energy against us. I felt it, and again, I feel like part of that was the relationship ending, and then these different things that are distracting me. I do need to get that focus and pull together that community. I have some of it. It's just, I do close myself off, and that's probably part of that heart chakra thing you were picking up there too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not feeling that you have a wall over your heart chakra or around your heart, which a lot of empaths create.
I want to.
Because we feel like it's a protection thing.
Yes.
I have learned as an empath that
I can't help but to keep, even no matter how much shit I get or pain I endure, I can't help but it has to keep open. I don't know why.
Right. And that's one thing about being an empath. I keep mine open as wide as I can. And the reason why I do that is so when things come in, it goes right on through and it doesn't get stuck. And I can look at it and go, "Oh, that's their stuff. Okay, we're good."
Yeah.
And that's the other discernment in dealing with the shadow work is knowing what stuff is theirs.
Yeah.
And being okay with, nope, that's not my stuff. That's theirs. And with empaths, because we get so entangled in everyone's energy, it becomes a little bit harder to discern from all of that.
Right. I'm realizing as we're talking, I need to take more times during the day to call my energy back to me and protect that and
Um,
go about it.
do you know how to use the Taurus energy field?
I'm not sure. I mean, so my process would be to push open my energy and connect with earth and allow the universal energy to flow through and cleanse. And then I close it up. I then take whatever balls of I get my hands together and form a ball of whatever residual negative or energy that's no longer serving me, and then I put it down into the earth to transmute. And that's one of my cleansing ways. Sometimes I just do the grounding with opening the chakras and grounding and doing that way. But what is the Taurus energy?
Okay.
Right.
Hello. I'd like to welcome our new caller onto the line. How are
Hi.
you today?
Hi. Hello. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Yeah, I am good. Thank you.
So, did you have a question or anything you wanted to talk about?
I would like to know what you are talking here.
So, it started off by talking about how one day, like, we're going to know that everything's inside of us instead of outside of us. And we've just been having a conversation about empaths and how we connect to the world and the universe and how we feel things.
Can be overwhelming.
Yes, it is
Definitely.
really overwhelming.
Yeah.
Especially when you're not, when it's new.
Definitely.
But I'm actually going to need to call an end to this.
Okay.
I am
I will
on.
message you from Holy Shift. So I will email you. It's holyshift@gmail.com as well. And we will connect.
Okay, sounds good.
And maybe make some things work and connect and stuff. I have a good feeling about, meeting each
Yeah,
other.
sounds great.
And I am Shauna, also known as Poetic. So nice to
Okay,
meet you.
sounds good. I'm Michelle, known as Mystic Michelle.
Nice to meet you, Michelle.
You too. You have a beautiful day.
You too.
Bye bye. Hello, welcome back. Okay, just want to let everyone know that I only have a few more minutes. I have a live on my Facebook that I have to do in 15 minutes.
Hi. Actually,
Hello.
I don't have any idea about that topic.
That's okay.
Okay. And actually, what are you doing here? Just you started this page for talking.
So I've been on air for like an hour now, so I'm just like finishing things up.
Mm-hmm.
I will be back on
Okay.
tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I am today itself only I started to use this app for improving my language. Yeah.
I love
So
it.
just now only I seen your page. I mean your podcast.
So I love how you're working on emerging yourself.
Thank you. And I would like to know your name.
My name is Michelle. I'm known as Mystic Michelle.
Okay. What are you doing?
So I am a psychic empath,
Uh-huh.
and we were doing some readings and some talking about healings and shadow work. So it's more of the intuitive psychic world type channel. I get channels from Saint Germain and the Hyatt
Okay.
Galactic Council that
Uh-huh.
I come in and talk about.
Great. Uh-huh. And what's your hobbies?
Pardon me?
What I am asking about your hobbies.
Oh, my hobbies. I'm an artist when I'm not on the radio.
Okay,
I do
where are
an
you from?
interview work.
Where you have been living?
Yeah, I have to sign off here
Mm-hmm.
because I have my Facebook Live that I have to do in like 10 minutes that I need to get ready for.
Okay, okay, okay,
All right. So
okay,
hopefully you can find me again tomorrow
okay,
morning
definitely.
when we come back on, okay?
I will catch you. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
sounds
Thank you
great.
so much.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. I would like to say
Okay, thank you
bye
so
and
much
thank
accepting my
you.
call.
You're so
Bye.
welcome.
Bye.
And have a great and beautiful and blessed day. On Facebook, it's going to be on Healing with Michelle.
Mm-hmm. This what my Gmail ID.
Is my Facebook page that I will be on.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, I have seen your email ID
All right.
from
Sounds
your
good.
yeah.
You guys
Whenever
all
you
have a
free, try to send messages so I can. So I hope that I can improve my language.
okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
I
Thank
love
you.
that you're working on that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Everyone have a blessed day.
Yeah.
I'm
Me
I'm
too.
your Mystic Michelle, your psychic empath, signing off.